Welcome back, True Seeker.
Waiting apologies for the late start. My daughter unexpectedly woke up. We had to get her back to bed. But yeah, more tragic news from the world of sports. In just a matter of days, it's another dead 25-year-old from the world of entertainment. The other day, it was the rapper Lil Papa, and they said he shot himself, and didn't look like that was really the case. If you missed my work on that, it's on the GematriaEffectNews channel. I'm streaming this on both channels, Gematria Effect Sports and Gematria Effect News. If you guys are only on my sports channel, I don't do much on it because YouTube's destroyed the channel. It's pretty much a dead channel. Occasionally, I'll put a video on there. But yeah, you had the Lil Papa murder the other day, which is what it looks like. And it's the same thing here with Rondale Moore. They're saying this is a self-deletion. I highly doubt it. It looks like another ritual sacrifice, and no doubt for the championship that Indiana just won. And looks like also Fernando Mendoza, who's likely to go #1 overall, who's the current college football champion with the Heisman Award under his belt. And, Indiana, they're saying the Bears, they're going to build the new stadium across the border in Indiana. I imagine it's for cost reasons. Things are expensive in Chicago. But yeah, for anyone who thinks that sounds weird, it's kind of like how, the New York team plays in New Jersey. It's about the same. The 49ers play in Santa Clara and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's just so obvious. It's so obvious what's really happened to this man. And it's annoying that I've been here for going on 13 years explaining this stuff day after day. And now, because of the algorithm and the way big tech is, this message is all but drowned out. It's like, what possesses me to stay up till, the middle of the night to get this information out here when I know it's hardly going to be received by anyone? I guess the same thing that's possessed me to do this day after day, just because the truth needs to be out there. It is very frustrating, though, what the algorithm's done, and also just the troll network. I have a dedicated team of trolls who just pound the dislike button as soon as a video is uploaded. A video will have upwards of 100 dislikes on it within 10 minutes because these trolls have 1,000 alt accounts. But yeah, anyway, well, let's get into this. Let's talk about his passing. If you've missed, there's been so many deaths connected to the sports championships in recent weeks and in the past month plus. It's just insane, and this is one of the more obvious examples. We'll also talk about how we did in the world of sports today, because again, the power of this knowledge that I've been teaching you guys is it allows you to not get played by this system. It allows you to see through the deception every single day. And it allows you to take advantage of this rigged game that plays out every single day. We swept the NBA tonight and had a real nice day in college basketball too. This knowledge, you can take advantage of the market, crypto, all this stuff. This is how the game is rigged. If you're new here, Gematria, you got to learn what Gematria is, or Gematria, pronounced both ways. It is the practice of coding numbers into words. It's very simple to learn. It's ABC is 1, 2, 3. That's the most simple cipher. And there are 4 ciphers based on the alphabetic order: the alphabetic order forwards, the alphabetic order in reverse, and both orders with numerology applied. In today's story, we have a young man who plays currently for the Minnesota Vikings, found dead in Indiana. They're saying it looks like he deleted himself with a gun. Found dead on the 52nd day of the year, right after Indiana won the championship. And don't forget, Minnesota, the team that hosted Super Bowl 52. The same Minnesota team where right before they opened their stadium to the public, the day prior, Denny Green, their coach, was found dead. But yeah, the most simple cipher, Indiana's 52. Rondale Moore, found dead on the 52nd day of the year. Again, playing for the Minnesota Vikings now. And found dead at 25. Again, we're on a 52-week calendar that's named for the Pope. And this is the sad thing about the U.S. education system. We don't really learn anything important. I don't remember in my 13 years of slave school pledging to 13 stripes, did they ever teach me that the calendar was for the Pope, or that a Jesuit priest is the reason we're on this calendar that says today is February 21st, 2026. And I didn't learn about how the reason this country was founded was largely to escape the Catholic tyranny of Europe, and how founders warned about how the Jesuits, who were in suppression when this country was founded, if they came out of suppression, they could subvert the nation. People should look into what's been said about the Jesuits, uh, the evil they've perpetrated in the world, the Jesuit oath. People should look into all these things. I get tired of teaching about this and then just reading the moronic comics. The Jesuits, I thought it was the small hats. If you thought that, you must be a moron. The Catholic Church. Do the small hats have a continent where everybody is their faith? No, not even close. Look at South America. The whole thing is Catholic because they were conquered by the Catholics. Are the small hats even allowed in China? No, they're not. The Catholic Church is. They've been there for longer than this country's existed. Anyway, look how perfect this is with the Pope, who's from Chicago, and his favorite football team's about to move to Indiana in terms of the stadium. Look how perfect this is. From the Pope's birthday to this man being found dead in Indiana today, shortly after they won the championship, is 160 days. Indiana Hoosiers 160. He's dead in Floyd County. And did you see have you guys read the article for his death? The name of the coroner is Matthew Tomlin. Tomlin, huh? Doesn't it almost sound like Mike Tomlin, who just resigned by the exact way we predicted he would resign? Again, you guys, if you have this knowledge, you saw a mile out why Aaron Rodgers was going to win his last game of the season versus the Baltimore Ravens and get his 174th win, and it's because Baltimore Ravens equals 174. Just like how Mike Tomlin picked up his 174th coaching win versus the Ravens one day after the 174th death anniversary of Edgar Allan Poe, who wrote The Raven that the Ravens are named after. Anyway, look at this. Dead in Floyd County. And the Floyd thing just reminds me of the whole George Floyd thing in Minnesota too, doesn't it? Doesn't it remind you of the George Floyd thing in Minnesota, since we're talking about a guy who is dead in Indiana and played for Minnesota, dead in Floyd County 160 days after the Pope? And didn't I write a book about the whole George Floyd psyop and how the whole thing clearly went back to the Vatican and the Jesuits? Because it did. Everybody should know this stuff. It's just so annoying. It's so annoying. You know, before I go any further, because there's so much more to say, something popped up in my feed today. There was a guy who wanted me to monetize this work as soon as he found out about it. And for real, no, I didn't monetize this work at all the first 5 years I was here. I did everything for free. But what I noticed is that guy is now working with Gary, the numbers guy. They are a team. And it's so weird because Gary, the numbers guy, used to try and diss me, and he'd get embarrassed every time because his picks would always be wrong and his futures would never land, and mine just landed year after year. And I was doing it for free, and he was charging people $5,000 and making them sign an NDA. But I noticed, anyway, when I told that guy I didn't want to monetize, for people who don't know, the first 5 years here, I didn't charge for anything because I just wanted people to see how legit the work was, and the only agenda I had was to get out information, and that really is still the only agenda. It's just, if you guys don't know, after 5 years, I decided I was going to go back into teaching, but then I found out I'd been blackballed from my profession, and I had the FBI come and harass me, and Sweet Lady wasn't too happy about it. So anyway, we monetized at only $5 a month if you wanted the sports content, and we kept it that way for 5 years. This year I did a little price bump, but it's still the greatest price ever for this knowledge if you want to take advantage of the rig. Anyway, the point is just these goons out in the world. There's so many goons out there, so many liars and slanders and people that don't do this work justice. Sorry, I'm tired. I've been up all day, but that video popped up on my feed. I said, look at this. The guy that was begging me to monetize. It's funny listening to him talk. He just says everything exactly how I say it too. I was like, these people, they don't even have anything unique. They are just straight plagiarizers. They were talking about how well he's done with his Masters picks lately. It's like, please, that goon just copies what I pick for the Masters. And if you don't know, we've hit 6 of the last 7 Masters before the tournament even began. The only year I missed was the first year Scheffler won it. And I wasn't paying enough attention to the PGA that year. I missed out on the hot hand Scheffler. But anyway, coming back, Floyd County. I mean, come on, man. 160 again on the 52nd day of the year for the Pope. all events synced around the Pope, just like how the Super Bowl was just totally synced around the Pope. And all you people out there, I told you for free, study the 21s in the game. Had you studied 21, you could have capitalized 1,000 different ways off the Super Bowl. That was exactly 21 weeks after the Pope's birthday, in the 21st meeting of the Patriots and the Seahawks, in the 21st Super Bowl hosted by NBC. Remember, the last time the Patriots and Seahawks played each other, it came down to Russell Wilson's 21st pass, getting picked by number 21 to give Brady his 21st postseason win on the date 2-1 when the interception was thrown on 2nd and 1. Remember, I told you, I said, study the 21s. It's going to be huge in the game. Number 21, who had the biggest plays defensively of the game for the Seahawks, playing on the 60th day of his age in Super Bowl 60. Sack, big payout. In on the forced turnover that really put the game away and put the Seahawks up by 21. Drake May throwing 2 interceptions gave the Seahawks 21 picks for the year. Drake May getting sacked 6 times gave him 21 sacks. 21 times he was sacked in the playoffs, and on and on and on. Get tired of all the losers every time I post a video leaving comments. I told you, study the 21 and it paid bills. Anyway, the game is rigged. So yeah, if you don't know, the Pope from Chicago, remember the last Pope died on the 312th day of Trump's age after his rigged election with 312 electoral college votes. And don't forget who told you 4 years in advance they'd reinstall Trump. But yeah, Trump gets 312 electoral college votes. Pope Francis dies on the 312th day of his age. And then we get the Pope from the 312 area code. It's all about area codes too, just like how the Seahawks from the 206 set the record for their kicker with 206 points on the season. Super Bowl 48, Russell Wilson, 206 passing yards. This year, the first playoff game for the Seahawks on the 206th day of the coach's age. And that's why we had the Seahawks to win by 15 plus, because had they won by 15, they would have been plus 206 in scoring for the year. They won by 35, so they definitely won by 15 plus. Anyway, don't forget also, the Seahawks advanced to the Super Bowl 19 weeks after the Pope's birthday, improving to 19-19 in the playoffs all time. Seattle's the only major city in America that equals 19. Pretty uncommon for anything to equal 19 in Gematria because it's a smaller number. But Seattle 19. Seattle wins the Super Bowl after Indiana, the 19th state, wins the college championship in Miami when the original Seahawks franchise was the Miami Seahawks. And the Miami Seahawks folded and became the Baltimore Colts, who are now the Indianapolis Colts in Indiana. And that's where that link is with Indiana being the 19th state and Indiana winning this year and Seattle, the 19th city, winning this year. And coming back to this, the death of this young man clearly synced with both of these championships. So, all right, continuing on. Oh, yeah. If you've read the articles, everyone has his former coach from college quoted in the article about how sad he is about the loss, Jeff Brom. Jeff Brom just happens to equal 162. This is the coach of the young man who's dead, Rondale Moore, his college coach. And note the Vikings, man, it's a fateful team. Doesn't it feel like every offseason we're talking about a dead young black player who played for the Vikings? I'll get to why that is again, but I mean, just pay attention. I mean, it's like every offseason there's a dead young black player for the Vikings. I can't think of a year it didn't happen. But look at this. From the Indiana winning the championship to the death tonight, a span of 34 days. A span of 34 days. Indiana suicide and murder, all 34. Indiana suicide and murder, all 34. Notice, from today to the upcoming March Madness Championship, which is also in Indiana, notice it's 44 days. If you're new here, we talk about these same numbers with death and killing all the time. 34 connects to murder, 44 connects to kill. Shooting and execution equal 44 like kill. And that also means the Final Four, obviously it'll begin 2 days earlier. If the championship's April 6th, the Final Four begins on 4/4 this year, which it does, and that's in 42 days. And that's the number just stamped all over Black history. You see all these death rituals year after year, young and old, Black entertainers dead by this 42 code. Before I wrote this book, I wrote this big-ass book. And there's a huge chapter on here on the murder of black entertainers in 42. You know, I wrote that book. I was writing that book a decade ago, talking about this stuff. And remember how in the recent rig selection, Kamala got 42% of the electoral college? If you didn't know that, just look it up. See how many electoral college votes she got, and then just do the math. You'll see it's 42%. But remember, once upon a time on the Vatican's birthday, which was the anniversary of her mother dying, again, all roads lead to Rome, you guys, all this small hat crap, it needs to just get flushed down the toilet. Yeah, I understand they're a component of things, but it's so small, it might as well not even matter. Yet in this truth community, you just hear everybody talking about small hat this, small hat that. Small hat. The key word is small. It's a small part of the picture, actually. Nobody's talking about the big part of the picture, the Vatican. Again, Kamala's mom died on the Vatican's birthday. Don't even forget what they did to the rest. Do you remember what they did to the wrestler Kamala the day before she was picked to be Joe Biden's VP nominee? That was another murder by the numbers. The wrestler Kamala. And what was his name? His name was Harris too. His actual last name was Harris as well. Can't even think what it was. It James Harris, something like that. But anyway, yeah, on the anniversary of her mom dying on the Vatican's birthday, she asked the CNN audience to question her blackness. And I started to remind people, I mean, this post is from 2019. And we were talking about 1,000 times before this. Like I said, I wrote this book back in 2016. I've been talking about this 42 code since 2013 when I learned this information. February, brothers, Bravo Mike. That's what cops refer to black males as. The racial slur. Moses Walker. That was the first black baseball player in white major league. It actually wasn't Jackie. It was Moses Walker, who also played in 42 games. LeBron James, slavery, Jackie, Martin, Malcolm, X, Huxtable, Cosby Show. There's a lot more to that list, too. At the time of this, I talked about how all of these were all 42 rituals buzzing in the news, just all things they were doing with 42. Jussie Smollett, James Brown back in the news for some controversy from when he was alive. LeBron James, of course, equals 42. I forget what was going on. I think that was back when, was that the same time LeBron James rapped some lyrics from a song about he got that ooish money? I think that's what it was. Cory Booker, Bill Cosby getting shamed. Remember the Virginia lieutenant governor? We used him to call the Virginia championship that year. He got shamed the day Virginia was playing Duke, and we're like, oh, look at the way this race ritual lines up with the tournament. Virginia became the first 1 seed to get beat by a 16 seed the year prior. Don't forget that was in the 136th meeting of a 16 and a 1. 136 is the 16th triangular number. That's when University of Maryland, Baltimore County beat Virginia. And then next year, Virginia came back and won the championship after the shaming of their lieutenant governor, who supposedly RAPED'd someone while at Duke or something like that. I forget exactly how it was. I have to go back and double check it. I can't remember what they did with Corey Maggette. I do remember what they did with Kareem Hunt. But yeah, all of these were buzzing 42 rituals at the time that Kamala was asking people to question her blackness. And then years later, she's running for president and getting 42% of the electoral college vote. And again, you guys, these are all rituals is the point I'm making. That's why this knowledge is so important, because it allows you to see the games that are getting played and why these numbers are assigned. And remember, my theory on why the numbers are assigned is it goes back to Egypt and the 42 laws of Ma'at, which a lot of the ideas from the Bible borrow from. And I think that's part of the reason the New Testament begins with the 42 generations to Jesus, who's described as being somebody of a darker complexion, like you might imagine in Egypt. But yeah, the first law of Ma'at is I will not sin, and sin, just in the most simple cipher. S is the 19th letter, I is the 9th, N is the 14th, sin equals 42. 42 generations to Jesus, who died for your sins in the Christian belief system. Don't forget they killed Candyman, too, on the day they called the election for Trump with his 312 electoral college votes. Candyman set in Chicago in the remake. The write-up for the remake says it's set 42 years later. And then in the scene where they go in the room where somebody got murdered, there's a 42 painted on the wall. I mean, this stuff's everywhere. But yeah, just out the race code, look at this. Synced with the Pope. Here's what they did with the Superior General. Today's the 102nd day of the Superior General's age. Slavery, 102 and 42. The not-so-nice slur is also 102 and 42. And don't forget, the feds recognized Black History Month in the middle of the month back in 76. Slave, Negro, Rasta, Blues, all equal 76. Barack Obama, Jesse Jackson, Michael Jordan. Remember Jesse Jackson just died on Michael Jordan's birthday. He ran for office in 84. Jordan went pro in 84. Obama's birthday is 84. Would have been the 84th birthday of Huey P. Newton, who was an associate of Kamala's father, Donald J. Harris. Talking about the founder of the Black Panthers. If you missed the work on Jesse Jackson's death and how he died 76 days from the anniversary of Fred Hampton's death in Chicago, go check that out because it's all related. Chicago's just right next door to Indiana where they're moving the football stadium to. But yeah, just look at it. I mean, on the 102nd day of the Superior General's Age, like the feds recognized Black History Month on 10/2, the 10th of February, back in 76. Now, for other familiar numbers, we just talked about this with the dead rapper the other day, Lil Papa. Minnesota is also 38. Just like death, murder, killing, and RIP are 38. And 38 is the 25th composite number. And death in the base ciphers equals 38 and 25. The Lil Papa's rap name was very similar. We just covered this the other day. And did you see what they did with Lil Papa? They said he shot himself after a car accident. Sound like the Marshawn Nealon thing. And I forget who the other NFL player was that was taken into police custody and somehow died in police custody. Remember the Police, the band, did the song Murder by Numbers, where killing is the sport of the elected, and it's as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. Don't forget, they elect popes. But yeah, and just about the sport of the elected and the lyrics of that song. I mean, today is the 52nd day of the year. Government equals 52, authority 52, president 52, White House 52, again, Pope 52, Kabbalah 52, where this whole study comes from. Gematria equals 52. There's the song Gematria, the killing name. Gematria is like Minnesota. It equals 38 and 52. Killing's also 38. But yeah, this man was playing for Minnesota. And remember George Floyd? George Floyd killed on the corner of 38th Street, right? Prince died in a major 38 ritual. And don't forget who called Prince's death before it happened. We called it the day Vanity died. Vanity died the day of the Grammys. Prince's ex-girlfriend from the time of Purple Rain. So again, just real quick from the top. NFL player playing for Minnesota from Indiana, dead in Indiana on the 52nd day of the year. Clearly synced with the Pope and the Hoosiers just winning the championship. Pope 52, 52-week calendar from the Pope, 160 days after the Pope's birthday, like Indiana Hoosiers, like Floyd County, where he's dead, reminding of George Floyd. You guys, Roman Catholic Church equals 320. Twin Cities is super Catholic. George Floyd pulled out of a Mercedes-Benz ML 320 and killed in front of police cruiser 320. Small way, Roman Catholic Church is 94, like it's I-94 that goes through the Twin Cities. If you've never driven through the Twin Cities, there's a massive Catholic structure that you see there. It's like the thing you see driving through the Twin Cities on I-94, the massive Catholic structure. Not a massive synagogue. Nope. But yeah, and then his coach, again, just his college coaches and all the articles, Jeff Brom. But yeah, today's the span of 34 days from the championship for the Hoosiers. Indiana, the self-deletion word and murder are all 34. The word black is also 34, killing a young black man in Black History Month. Again, the college championships not too far off. March Madness, the finales in Indiana as well. There's just blood for these championships every time. So I have no doubt that he's for both. No doubt about it. This is what they do. And there'll be numerous more deaths as we get up to the March Madness and in the days after. It happens every single year. But yeah, 44 days to the championship in Indiana, shooting and execution and kill. I didn't put kill up there, but kill just in the base cipher, the most simple cipher. 4 letters, K the 11th letter, I the 9th, L the 12th, L the 12th, 44. 42 days again to Final Four beginning. We just went over that. How it's synced up with the Superior General, a.k.a. the Black Pope. And then, yeah, again, Minnesota. George Floyd on the corner of 38th in Chicago. Minnesota, 38. Death, 38. Again, murder, killing, and RIP are all 38. If you don't count the span of days, it's a span of 34 days. Another fair way to say it would be it's 33 days after the championship. And I always explain the same things over and over because there's always a new person here to lose. How can it be 34 and 33? Wait, if you're that person right now, I just want you to start thinking about things a little bit more. My birthday is July 21st. So July 22nd is one day after my birthday. Would it also be the first day of my age, or would it be the second day of my age? If you understand that, then you get the point. 33 days later, or the 34th day, including the championship date. So anyway, his surname, Rondale, 33. And again, big number with masonry. Masonry, secrecy, police, federal order, 33. DC is known as the Masonic City. This nation founded by a bunch of Masons. Modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation. Do you know where modern Freemasonry was made? If you don't, it was made in London, in the banking district. And London's divided into 33 neighborhood areas. Somebody put out a recent viral video online about all the buildings in London that have 33 in the address and what's interesting about all of them. You guys should look up that video. Numbers. Remember what they etch on the Masonic temple. All is number, the Pythagoras quote. Some say Pythagoras is the first Freemason. Pythagoras, the Greek who learned from the Egyptians, where mathematics comes from. But yeah, the story goes, NFL wide receiver Rondale Moore, who played most recently for the Minnesota Vikings, was found dead Saturday night in Indiana. Authorities said he was 25. Keep in mind this football season just ended, go down as the 2025 season. You know, the championships are at the start of 26, but they go down as the 2025 season. Floyd County corner Matthew Tomlin. It's like, is this just supposed to make you think even more about football? I mean, Tomlin's not that common of a last name. Mike Tomlin. Let's remember where he ends up. Floyd County corner Matthew Tomlin. And don't forget, Mike Tomlin was coaching the Steelers, the team that's owned by the Jesuit Rooney family. And yeah, earlier today I was talking about the dead Pittsburgh Pirate who hit the walk-off Game 7 home run in 1960. Another 1960 champ dead about the time of Super Bowl 60. Not to mention he used to coach the Seattle Mariners. But yeah, anyway, Floyd County corner Matthew Tomlin did not share additional details. And I just got to remind, just a couple days ago, Mr. Wagner, who played for the Steelers, found dead at 76, and he won the Super Bowl in 76. And that was the year the Seahawks played their first season. And Seahawks Steelers was the first of the Pope Bowls. If somehow you don't know, the last 3 times there was a new Pope, the Seahawks went to a Super Bowl. It all started with Super Bowl 40 against the Steelers, which they said was the most rigged Super Bowl of all time in terms of how bad the calls were. And don't forget who just died, Eric Dane, the actor from Grey's Anatomy, set in Seattle, and he debuted in his first episode February 19th, dead on the 19th. We were just talking about the 19 connection with Indiana and Seattle. And the first time he was in the show was right after Super Bowl 40 ended. Anyway, Floyd County coroner Matthew Tomlin did not share additional details on the circumstances of Moore's death, but said there was no threat to the public and an autopsy would be conducted Sunday. You guys, I hate how the brain dead masses always come with the same questions. How come Matthew Tomlin doesn't speak out then? First of all, very few people in the world have courage. Second of all, money and keeping a job controls almost everybody. I mean, how many of you guys have a job where you see wrong, messed up stuff going on and you don't say a damn word because you need that job? You're not going to say anything. You got to pay the bills. It's how the whole world is kept in check. Not to mention if Matthew Tomlin comes out and says something the way it is in this world, man, look at stuff like that does happen. Whistleblower. And it's like a week later and you're like, whistleblower found dead in river, believed to be a self-deletion. Does anybody say anything? They're like, huh. So I get tired of everyone's dumb questions. It's like, were all you born yesterday? Yeah, have you not seen the way the world works? Have you not experienced the world for yourself? Are you not the person you're asking the question about? If you were Matthew Tomlin and somebody came to you and said, listen, here's a little payola and just keep your damn mouth shut if you want your job and you want to keep breathing. And, is that a picture of your daughter over there? You would probably not say anything. And, to be fair, now that I have a child, I mean, I might end up the same way because that's kind of just the way it is as a human being. But don't blame me because I spent the better part of my adult life, or pretty much all of my adult life, speaking out against this evil. Shit, I saw it the day it happened on 9/11. I was 18 years old. I've been speaking out since that day about how obvious the lies and corruption are. Anyway, Floyd County Coroner Matthew Tomlin did not share additional details on the circumstances of Moore's death. And that's the thing. I mean, it could be so obvious that somebody shot him and he's just going to write up the report. Yeah, it looked like he did it to himself. Here's my payola, and I like having a family and a job. Moore, a receiver and return specialist drafted in the second round out of Purdue University, spent his first 3 years in the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals. Let's not forget they started in Chicago. And let's not forget a year ago this time, the Pope was a Cardinal, wasn't he? In 2024, he dislocated his right knee during training camp with the Atlanta Falcons, and he never played for them. Don't forget, you guys, the Falcons Falcons in Gematria equals 25. The only time we ever saw Pope Francis bless a Super Bowl, it was the one between the Boston College product Matt Ryan for the Falcons playing the team from Boston, and they gave up the 25-point lead on 2-5 in the year they moved the touchback to 25 yards, which was the 97th season, which is the 25th prime. Hey, you know what? The Vatican just turned 97 years old. Don't forget, Jesse Jackson was hospitalized. If you guys missed it, Jesse Jackson was hospitalized on the Superior General's birthday and died 97 days later. And Martin Luther King Jr. would be 97 right now because they were next to each other at the Lorraine Motel. And by the way, Lorraine Motel equals 157, and Jesse Jackson died 157 days after the Pope's birthday. Or hold on. No, hold on. I might be getting that. I'm trying to go off memory. Whatever Lorraine Motel equals is how many days after the Pope's birthday it was. Go back and check my notes. I might be off on the 157, but I know I got that part right, that Lorraine Motel's Gematria lined up with how Jesse Jackson, his passing went with the Pope and the Superior General. Okay. All right, so here's a few other things that stand out. He got drafted April 30th, 2021. Notice he was the 49th overall pick. Again, the Seahawks just avenged their Super Bowl 49 loss in the 49ers stadium. From the day he was drafted until his death is 251 weeks in a day. 251 is the 54th prime number. Remember, Jesuit order, their headquarters is the Church of the Jesu, Building 54. I mean, almost every day I'm showing you the latest Jesuit 54 ritual. That Roddy Piper and they live. He puts on the glasses and can see that Cable 54 runs the world. And don't forget, Roddy Piper ended up dying on the anniversary of the Jesuit founder's death. And he also tweeted out on September 27th, the anniversary of the Jesuits being recognized by the Roman Catholic Church, that the movie was a documentary. In reverse, Jesuit Order 72, like we got Pope Francis, the first Jesuit Pope, on the 72nd day of the year. So he became Pope March 13th, 2013. The man who's dead played wide receiver, which has the double 72 connection. The biggest beneficiary of the Indiana season, Fernando Mendoza. Today's the 144th day of his age, Jesuit Order. Again, these are the 4 base ciphers. This is the system. These numbers come up all the time. And we were just talking about what Fernando Mendoza recently said on the Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee. He used to play for the Colts, didn't he? It was about a week back. He was on the Pat McAfee show. And he was talking about, what a story is, because he was only a 2-star recruit, but somehow he ended up winning the Heisman and being the champion. I mean, come on, you guys. I mean, you can improve as a person and work hard at your craft, but if you're a 2-star recruit, like had I not given up sports because my mom asked me to when I was younger, I was a good athlete, but my mom just wanted me to work and save money, and that's what I ended up doing at a young age. She'd always say, Zach, you're not big enough. You're only 5'10". You got to be like 6 foot something if you want to make it in this world of sports. I'm just saying, had I kept playing and I went to college, I might have made it as a 2-star recruit, even though you're good, but you're a 2-star because you're not super off the charts athletically. You're in the middle of the pack. There's no way as a 2-star recruit you're ever going to become, in reality, the Heisman winner and lead a football team that's never won a championship. Only in the script. Sports are so scripted. It's mind-numbing. It's mind-numbing that people don't catch on. And again, look up the quote of Fernando, or look up the clip of Fernando Mendoza on the Pat McAfee show talking about like joking about skull and bones. I was at Yale for a second. Remember, American football is credited to the skull and bones man, Walter Camp, who went to Yale. But yeah, all of this stuff is storybook. And don't forget how perfect it is either. Miami equals 27. They win with 27 points in Miami as their coach. What's his name? Kurt Signetti gets his 27th win with Indiana, not to mention Ritual equals 27. And add up all the points Indiana scored for the season. They scored 666 points. And the next thing you know, it's the Super Bowl, and there's 666 total yards of offense in San Francisco, where the Church of Satan was founded, when Seattle's known for the Beast Quake. For the record, Mark of the Beast also equals 144 and 54. You might recall those numbers factored in with Kobe. Kobe, who died in a sick ritual synced with the Pope, dead at 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age while traveling from Catholic Mass. The Pope was 83, like murder equals 83, like helicopter crash equals 83, like Bear Bryant died on the same day, the football coach, in 83. But yeah, Kobe had the career high in his 666th game. He scored 81, like Mark of the Beast, and Kobe being Bryant equal 81. And then he also promoted the 666 workout. Here is wisdom. Some people are like, what do you mean here is wisdom? What I mean is read a book, like maybe the Bible. And I'm not saying you got to be religious. Just read the book, because then you'll know the script from the scripture. Revelation 13:18 about 666 begins, here is wisdom. Funny enough, here is wisdom has the same gematria as number of the beast. But yeah, also about this Jeff Brom guy being in all the articles today, his college coach. It's 62 days before his birthday. Louisville, sacrifice, Faustian bargain. That means a deal with the devil. That's where he's coaching now, too. He's coaching at Louisville. Don't even get me started on what they did with Muhammad Ali, and then Muhammad Ali with the 19-mile funeral procession, and then a 19-year-old Lamar Jackson. And by the way, what's crazy is that if you go back in time and look at what Lamar Jackson's birthday was online before he went to the NFL, he had the same birthday as Muhammad Ali the whole time he was at Louisville. And then when he went to the NFL, they moved his birthday by 10 days online. Like, what? Just like when they moved Chadwick Boseman's birthday back a whole year. So he was a year older. He was 42 when he died on the makeshift Jackie Robinson Day, which was also Jack Kirby's birthday, who wrote Black Panther. And it goes with Jackie Robinson being in the Black Panther tank brigade in World War II. But anyway, yeah, all this stuff, man, is just wicked as hell. And yeah, again, you can see he's from Indiana and died in Indiana. He died in his hometown. His Wikipedia says he's 181 pounds. That's the 42nd prime. Black history equals 181. He went to Trinity in Louisville, Kentucky. That's interesting that he went to high school there and his college coach is now in Louisville. Let me see if this Trinity school is a Catholic school. It sounds pretty damn Catholic. Trinity High School, Louisville. Yeah, it's a Catholic all-boys college preparatory high school located in St. Matthews, Kentucky. Go figure. Founded in 53. So it's either 72 years old right now, like Jesuit order, or it's gonna, or it's a lot of schools are founded, when school starts in the fall or late summer. So it's either 72 years old, or if it was founded at the beginning of the year, it's 73, like sacrifice and ritual sacrifice are 73. And if it is 73, there are 73 books in Catholic Bibles. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just, ugh. What's it say down here? In his first game with the Boilermakers and first game overall, Moore's 313-yard all-purpose yards was the record for most in program history. You guys, today leaves 313 days left in the year. Today's the 52nd day of the year, leaving 313 days remaining. So he set a record with Purdue with 313. Just happens to die on this day in Indiana. Purdue's in Indiana. And then it said he broke the record by a yard. Otis Armstrong set the record with 312, the Chicago area code, in 72. It says in that same game, Moore had a 76-yard rush to score a touchdown. Was I not just talking about the 76th? It says the 76-yard score tied the game at 14 all. I mean, are you kidding me, man? Look at this, you guys. Look at this. I'm telling you. Look at the Gematria slave. 76 and 14. Remember, Obama announced he was running for president 31 years to the day of the feds recognizing Black History Month Obama announced he was running February 10th, 2007. The feds recognized Black History Month February 10th, 1976. And by the way, that new Tyler Perry movie that features the Lorraine Motel, they throw out a 76 right at the beginning of the movie, saying the character said motherfucker 76 times. It's everywhere once you're aware of this. But yeah, if you didn't know, Obama's got the 14 and 31, just like slave. And then Barack Obama's 76. Again, we just saw Jesse Jackson, who ran for office. Wait a minute. I'm spelling Jesse Jackson wrong. He doesn't have an I in his name. That's what's up. He spells it without the I. Jesse Jackson is 70. It's also 32 like Negro. But Jesse Jackson, and again, he died on Michael Jordan's birthday. And did you see that Doug Moe died the same day, who grew up in Brooklyn like Jordan and played at UNC? Doug Moe's full name equals 76. Covered that. Again, for all you guys who just wait for content on the sports channel, you need to be on my news channel where I cover everything. Numerous videos per day. Like I said, I don't even feel like most of the time it's worth even doing a video on the sports channel because it's so shadow banned. They destroyed this channel 2 March Madnesses ago. 2024, the channel dropped 6,000 subs overnight. I don't even know how that happens. And I've never been able to really get any views on this channel ever since. Look at that. The Boilermakers eventually lost the game 31-27. So they give you a 76, a 14, and a 31 all in that blurb about his record game. And now he's dead in this month where these numbers come up all the time. Okay. On 9/3, he was named as the co-freshman of the week in the Big Ten Conference. Again, there's something about 93, too, because here we are. Black History Month is 93. Names like Martin Luther King Jr. Remember, it's not his birth name. Martin Luther King Jr. 93. Malcolm X, also not his birth name. Today's the anniversary of Malcolm X's death, man. Malcolm X was killed on this day. Malcolm X was killed on this day in 65. Today leaves 313 days left in the year, the 65th prime. Yeah, there's probably something about that. It's 61 years since Malcolm X died. Seems crazy. That's how you know you said some things that matter, because the things Malcolm X said, they're more relevant today than ever. Yeah. Anyway, here's the other piece. From his June 9th birthday, you guys, to his death today, 257 days. I mean, these patterns show up all the time. Blood sacrifice, 257. You know what else? That means it's 108 days to his upcoming birthday. Look at Hoosiers alone. Hoosiers is 108, forwards and backwards. Indiana Hoosiers. And you guys know they won their first championship in 50 years, right? Or that's not what I meant. They won their first championship as a football team, but it was the first perfect season in college sports since the Indiana Hoosiers basketball team 50 years ago. And that probably factors in because, remember, this year the championship for the NFL was in San Francisco, and the Seahawks won it in their 50th season. Washington's also 50. And they beat a 50-year-old Mike Vrabel who used to wear 50 in the NFL. And like I told you, the original Miami franchise in the NFL was the Miami Seahawks. Indiana won the championship in Miami as the 19th state. The Miami Seahawks became the Baltimore Colts and eventually the Indianapolis Colts. So the Colts now play in the 19th state. Don't forget, Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, died 106 days before the 106th NFL season kicked off. And notice Seattle WA's 106. They call the fans the 12s 106. It's been nonstop 106 death rituals. The latest one was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hold up. Steeler dead at 76. Is it Mike Wagner? Yeah, Mike Wagner. Look at this. There's been so many of these, you guys. Mike Wagner 106. I mean, it's just been nonstop. Nonstop. Mike Wagner's 106 and 56 like Seattle WA. Super Bowl 60 was the 56th of the modern era. Again, dead at 76 like the Seahawks first season in 76. But yeah, Seattle the 19th city, Indiana the 19th state. Seattle up 19-0 in the Super Bowl. Again, after advancing to the Super Bowl 19 weeks after the Pope's birthday, making their playoff record 19-19 all time. But yeah, this man also the 49th pick of the draft. Draft, the word is 49. Let me see. When is the 2026 NFL draft? It's on the 113th day of the year. So it's in 61 days. Huh. Okay. He's dead 61 days before the draft for the season that's going to end in Super Bowl 61. Pay attention. There's going to be something with that. And remember Caleb Williams, who plays for the Bears, who sounds like they're going to move their stadium to Indiana. His season ended versus the Rams 61 days after his birthday. Where is the 2026 NFL draft? Oh, it's in Pittsburgh, huh? Okay. And the other buzzing headline today is the death of this baseball legend who played for the Pirates and coached in Seattle. Again, he was the 1960 champ. Notice he died on the 169th day of his age. I've gone over all these 169 rituals with Seattle, including Drake May saying his favorite Bible verse right before the game was Proverbs 16:9, before he was down 9 at the half and 16 at the end of the game. And again, that week, Russell Wilson's in the Epstein files on the anniversary of winning the Seahawks only Super Bowl prior to winning Super Bowl 60. And he said, "Not today, Satan," which equals 169 and also 43. Like how many points they put up in the game? Like Seattle Seahawks equals 169 and 43. Whoops. I didn't mean to close. Snap. This baseball player, I mean, I covered this earlier, but just notice he coached the Mariners. And don't forget, Cal Raleigh for the Mariners hit 60 home runs last year. That was a clue what Seattle was going to do with Super Bowl 60. He's from the Carolinas, like Drake May, like Sonny Jorgensen, who won the championship in 1960 and then died 2 days before the Super Bowl in Wilmington, North Carolina, where the college team's the Seahawks. But yeah, this man dead in the news today. His name in reverse, 82 like Seattle. New England Patriots also 82. The two teams in the Super Bowl are playing on the 8th of February, 8-2. He died 12 days after the Super Bowl. The news broke today, but 12 days for another 12. Seahawks won their two Super Bowls 12 years apart, just beat the Patriots for the 12th time. It was the Patriots' 12th Super Bowl appearance. It was the 12th time in NFL history that a final score was 29-13, the score of the Super Bowl. 42 points for Washington, the 42nd state in Super Bowl 60, when 60 is the 42nd composite number. And in the last time they played, Brady became 4-2 in Super Bowls, beating the Seahawks at the goal line in Arizona, which equals 42. So yeah, I did a longer video on this. If you don't count the span of days, it was 168 days after his birthday he died, and he's the only guy to ever hit a walk-off home run in Game 7 of the World Series. That happened 66 years ago in 1960. Look at that. Walk-off home run, 168 and 66. New York City, 168. That's who he beat, the Yankees. From the anniversary to his death, 131 days. The championship and Super Bowl number. Again, remember, the Seahawks just won their 131st game since winning Super Bowl 48, and their coach was hired on 131, January 31st, and won the Super Bowl 739 days later, the 131st prime. I mean, all the years I've been here, I've been teaching about 131 in championships since 2013, you guys. Every year, it's the same shit. I got idiots uploading videos like, Gematria is just one of those things like where it's easy to just like make a pattern and then yeah, just make the pattern. You know how dumb you got to be? Do you know how many futures we hit from knowing this? Do you know how many things we called before it happened from knowing this? More than anybody, to answer your question or the question I posed for you. The answer is more than anybody. And by the way, how many sales have I lifted? I mean, there's so many people out in the world that are making a living off this, whether they're copying my work or selling their own sports picks, or they're like Gary the Numbers Goon, collaborating with the guy who begged me to partner up with him. See, the thing, I brought it up earlier, but this guy that runs this Gematria club, he used to be in my comment section when I was first starting and always trying to go against my picks, and he was just always wrong, always wrong. And then he's begging me to collaborate with him and monetize. I didn't want to monetize back then. I didn't need to. And I should have, though. I realized in hindsight I should have because there was a lot. I just realized there was no reason for me to do this for free for 5 years. Humanity is not appreciative enough. So if I could do it all over again, I would have monetized from the beginning, and rightfully so. But anyway, it's just weird because I'm talking about how these guys are getting promoted by people like Myron Gaines and stuff. Who are it's just like, so wait a minute, the frauds are like getting promoted and they're just like stealing my work and then claiming my accomplishments. He got the Masters right again. I guarantee that guy could never pick the Masters in his life if he wasn't copying from me. Because I remember from the beginning, Gematria Club, if you're out there watching, you couldn't pick a damn game to save your life. And in fact, actually, in that same stream, he even admitted, he goes, I can never do better than 50-50 with daily picks, but I'm real good when I have a group of things like at the Masters. Yeah, that's because you're copying me, buddy. Anyway, look at the game where this man hit the walk-off home run. 19 runs. That's a lot of runs in a baseball game. Isn't that the magic number here? Indiana, the 19th state. Seattle with the Super 19 ritual with the Pope. And I gave that one to you guys for free if you're just watching my public streams. I told you at the beginning of the playoffs, I said, man, if Seattle wins both, they're going to be 19-19 in the postseason. 19 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Remember where Cootie's 19 started? First case in the world outside of China. Wasn't it in Bill Gates' backyard with the big old needle? Didn't I write a book about this? Yeah, look at that, though. Look at it. So, yeah, stuff just goes on day after day. And like I said, the guy from the Seattle hospital show, he's just dead on the 19th of the month. 20 years to the day of doing his first episode, which was right after Super Bowl 40, the first of the Pope Bowls. Eric Dane, Netflix has the special out instantly about his death from Lou Gehrig's disease. Look at this. They put out the special a day after his passing, 102 days before Lou Gehrig's death anniversary. And he died 102 days after his own birthday. Not to mention he's also in the HBO show, what's it called? Euphoria, which is the new season's coming out on April 12th, the 102nd day of the year. And with regards to HBO, their hit hospital show is The Pit. And he was in the hospital show Grey's Anatomy, and he died the night of the new episode of the new HBO hospital show, The Pit, which is also Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, Seattle, Pope Bowls, 2 deaths. Yeah, it has to be that way. It has to all be connected. Again, you had 2 Pittsburgh sports stars die this week, and then that little thing with the Seattle and Pittsburgh hospital shows. And by the way, where's Eric Dane from? He's from San Francisco. Remember, San Francisco and Pittsburgh both equal 50. San Francisco 50, Pittsburgh 50. And don't forget, we use those numbers the year Super Bowl 54, the 50th of the modern era. Remember, the Chiefs won their first Super Bowl in 50 years over San Francisco in the Joe Montana Bowl. That was the 2019 season, like Montana wore 19 for the Chiefs. And then Super Bowl 58 was the 54th of the modern era. Chiefs win again, first team to go back-to-back in 19 years. But yeah, go back and look. The 49ers, here. 49ers box score versus Steelers, September 22nd, 2019. Look at this. The 49ers picked up their 229th home win as a franchise on 22/9. 229 is the 50th prime. I said that day, we already know the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl this year. It could make sense if they played the 49ers because both these teams have the 50 connection in the year of Super Bowl 54, the 50th of the modern era. That's the power of knowing this knowledge. And also just seeing how scripted it is. I mean, what are the odds the 49ers will get their 229th home win as a franchise on 22/9 in the battle of the 2 most 50 teams? Again, that dark blue cipher, that's the best cipher for a number. Pittsburgh 50, San Francisco 50. Seahawks win in their 50th season over a 50-year-old Mike Vrabel in San Francisco. And let me also say something else. I get tired of you fucking moron losers that sit around here and just wait for me to be wrong about something so you can bitch and go ha-ha like a fucking loser. Again, my advice for this year's Super Bowl was to take the Patriots money line and also to take the Seahawks to win by 12 or more. Because I said a million times, if the Seahawks win, they're going to win big. And I knew they'd win by at least 12 with all those 12s for the 12s. Had you bet 100 on the Patriots, you would have lost that. Had you bet 100 on the Seahawks to win by 12 plus, you would have made $300. Not to mention we crush player props again. And not to mention we win day after day. And you know what? The day after the Super Bowl, there was an awesome underdog ritual with the Wilmington Seahawks in college basketball that we also cashed on because now we were 1,000,000% locked into the pattern. Go look at what happened to Chattanooga versus Wilmington, Delaware the day after the Super Bowl. You see that Seattle Seahawks 169 that we told you all about? Here, look at this. Wilmington, North Carolina, Chattanooga box score. Here's the day after the Super Bowl, you guys. Why is it doing that? 2026, February 9th. Right here, boom. Boom. Charleston was the favorite. You see how they fell to 16-9 versus the Seahawks? And do you see how the Seahawks, one was 76 points, like the Seahawks' first season in the NFL was in 76, like how you have that dead Steeler this week at 76, who won the Super Bowl in 76. And again, just where was the Super Bowl this year? San Francisco. Seahawks 50th season, 76. How many yards did Darnold have in the game, you guys? You know how many yards he had? He had 202 passing yards in San Francisco. Did Sam Darnold, where his grandfather, Dick Hammer, for USC, once beat Santa Clara? And that was, what year was it? What did it say? It was that, I forget if it was in 72 or in 54, but whether it was in 54 or 72, it was either 54 years ago or 72 years ago. And Santa Clara is where one of the three Jesuit universities in California is located. It's where Gavin Newsom went to school. But yeah, again, for all you fucking losers out there, shut the fuck up. Gotta get sick of you worthless fucking pieces of shit. You guys are fucking pathetic pieces of shit, and you know you are. Hating on the most awesome knowledge and truth teller there ever was, who taught you how to pad your pockets unless you were too fucking dumb, and also exposed the most evil shit on a daily basis, and did it in his sleep. And literally had to do it in my sleep for the last year and going on a half now because my daughter doesn't sleep. So anyway, by the way, what's funny is my daughter loves birds, and since she's been born, bird teams have won both Super Bowls. And yeah, it is true. I was on the wrong side with my main bet the last 2 years, which had only happened one time before from Super Bowl 48. So on the time of my daughter. But you know what? If you followed my advice in both Super Bowls, you still had a winning Super Bowl because, like last year, I liked Xavier Worthy for 2 touchdowns. That was plus 1,200. And a lot of other things that hit. I think I missed on one player prop and my main bet. But I was also heavily hedged with the Eagles, like I told my whole community. We had the future in for the Chiefs for Super Bowl 59 from the preseason. So I told everybody, you got to hedge with the Eagles. I knew the Chiefs were in deep shit. They lost with 22 and they got their 22nd postseason loss. And don't forget, Andy Reid was up against his old team in the Chiefs' 65th season and got his 61st loss with the Chiefs. Again, this knowledge will help you hedge your bet. And as they say, wise men hedge bets. And as you fucking retard trolls do in the chat, you ignore the winning advice and just try to hate. And it's fucking pathetic. By the way, also dead today, a Puerto Rican singer. Did we just have a Puerto Rican halftime show? Because we did. Salsa singer dead on the 52nd day of the year. Salsa 52. Salsa 83. Bad Bunny, the Puerto Rican, whose name is the exact same as football in every cipher. The singer who's dead, Willie Colon, 60, like Super 60. Willie Colon, also 129 like Seahawks, like Sam Darnold, who currently has 129 passing touchdowns for his career. As the Seahawks became 12-9 versus the Patriots, and about 10 people died in the week leading up to the Super Bowl who either had a name that equaled 129 or had a birthday that was 129, whether it was December 9th or January 29th, or they died January 29th, or they died December 9th. Everything was just happening 129. And that's why in hindsight, because I knew that, a part of me is like, yeah, maybe I should have known to have my main bet is be Seahawks to win by 12. But again, had you taken my advice, I said Seahawks will win by at least 12 if they win the game. And that's what they did this year. Is they did it. That's what they've been doing, you guys. For the first time ever, the last 2 years, I lost on 41. Had the Patriots won the Super Bowl, they would have got their 41st postseason win. But what they had instead was the Seahawks 131 ritual, more hidden. And the Seahawks did beat the 49ers, who hosted with 41 points in the playoffs. And last year, Mahomes, who'd been following the Kobe Bryant path the whole way, could have become 4-1 in Super Bowls, like Kobe Bryant's 41. But instead, He fell to 3-2, which we knew was there, and that wasn't a true 41. But I'd never lost on 41 in a Super Bowl from the time I started with Super Bowl 48 on. So if you're out there like, oh, well, you got it wrong, shut the fuck up, moron. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and we didn't really get it wrong. If you took my advice, you won, point blank, period. If you didn't take my advice, you probably lost. If you've taken my advice over all these years I've been here, you've bought yourself a house and a farm like other people in my community, which is no cap. You were homeless and now you're not. You bought your first car. You paid off your mortgage, et cetera, et cetera. All the stories we have out of our community from playing with my knowledge. Not to mention all the people that like Gary the Numbers Goon, who's learned to copy my grift. And you guys used to listen in 2016 when he'd call into my show and embarrass himself. He'd always be trying to dog Gematria. Now he's out there promoting it. That's because he saw what yours truly was doing, making him look like an asshole. Okay. Let's see. Oh, here, let's go over today's picks. By the way, did you see that did you see Trump on a 15-date numerology escalated the trade war with 15% tariffs? By the way, what about that fucking loser Andrew Wilson who I debated a year ago and destroyed? Wasn't my prediction that he kept begging for? Wasn't it right on the money? Didn't I say there'd be a lot of job loss in 2025 because of Trump's tariff policies, which were idiotic, which he was advocating for on his channel? And did you see the Supreme Court rule by the numbers? Now they're saying that we, the taxpayers, are going to get fucked 2 times because now we're going to have to pay back. The taxpayers are going to have to pay back the money that was collected. Not to mention all the extra shit we had to pay for this past year, all the increased expenses from the tariffs. We don't get to recover that. We just got to pay the funds back now, getting fucked 2 times. That's why you morons who vote for these fucking pups, shut the fuck up. You guys are unworthy pieces of shit. You're looking at the one man who was here every day for the last 13 years, dropping nothing but truth bombs and exposing the most evil shit and giving you knowledge to improve your financial position. And if you didn't, it's because you're a fucking loser. And yeah, I am fed up and annoyed. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of watching these players get murdered and watch fucking morons walk into these stadiums for another season. Do you know how dumb you got to be? Fucking pathetic. Hey, everybody who went to the Super Bowl this year and last year, did you feel like you got a good show? Was it worth the exorbitant price for the blowout shitty games? Totally scripted. The 12s up 12-0. The 19 City up 19-0. Tom Brady comes out a couple days before the Super Bowl and says, I only played in Seattle one time. You go back and you look it up and you're like, wow, the one time he played in Seattle was on Charlie Kirk's 19th birthday. Didn't I tell you guys for free before the game that the whole Super Bowl was set in week 16, the day that Trump declared the Patriot games for Charlie Kirk? And that was the same day the Seahawks had their first ever 16-point comeback in the fourth quarter over the Rams on the anniversary of Kobe retiring his jerseys, on the same day Greg Biffle, number 16, died. Oh, by the way, I didn't hear the haters say anything about the Daytona 500 this year, and maybe that's because our community identified 2 guys that looked like they were going to finish right at the top, and they finished in first and second place. Reddick and Stenhouse. Congrats to the winners. I know people in my community turned $5 into $500, 10 into $750, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we do over here. But anyway, yeah, let's go over today's games. Let's go over today's games for the haters. Just another winning day over here. Just another big-time winning day. Here, let's see how we did today. Oh, by the way, about that college game right there, you guys know this is the 5th time in history the top 4 teams played each other in a single day. And one of the last times it happened was 1992, where the championship was Duke over Michigan, and that happened to be one of the matchups today. The 1 versus the 3. 1 versus the 3. Today's 44 days to the championship. Michigan 44. The championship in 92, the year Duke beat Michigan in the Fab Five. Notice they won by 5, like it was the Fab Five. That championship in 92 was April 6th. Didn't I tell you guys for free what I thought about this year's March Madness before a single college basketball game was played? And I got to give a shout out to a young guy in my community because he did the research first, but I totally endorsed what he came with. I said, that makes so much sense. Shout out to Julius. But yeah, let's go over today's games. Like I always say, you guys, my retards critics will always say, Zach says this or that. Yeah, that's what you always have to do. You always have to look at both sides of the equation, and I always put what I think is the better narrative on top. How would you do it, retard? How would you decode the game? Would you only look at the thing you wanted to because you're a fanboy of the team? Because what I try to do is I try to find the most lopsided narratives and the smartest games to play day after day. Here's Phoenix, who is barely a favorite with good value, that has a pretty lopsided narrative. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things for them versus the Magic, who had one thing for them. Oh, Zach didn't pick the Magic because he said this or that. If that's your response, stay the fuck off my Patreon, retard. If you're smart enough to realize that that looks like a pretty damn good narrative because it looks 5 times better than the other side, because that's exactly how it's written out, then you might be smart enough to be on my Patreon and take advantage of this knowledge. If you're some fucking retard that thinks all this stuff's a coincidence, I can't help you. But to me, I like when a team can become 33-24 versus a team that equals 33-24. You see that? How the Suns became 33-24 today? Wow. And you got to love it, too. 113 points. That's the 30th prime beating the Magic. And how long have I been telling you guys about the 113 league? The Nothing But Actors League? The National Basketball Association 113? How many times have we called the exact score right over the years that the score is going to be 113 in the Nothing But Actors League? You know, the greatest actors of all time, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, the 113s. Pelicans, man, they put it on the 76ers with 126 in New Orleans. 126 in New Orleans. Man, it must be another fucking coincidence. Hey, let me see. Who did we have here today? Now, this one's a little bit closer to being even, but we got all these reasons on top for the Pelicans to win. 76ers can get 26 loss. New Orleans, Pelicans, 101, 26 prime. I mean, you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 things to 3. 8 to 3. I would say look for the 2 safest games. You might have decided that wasn't the safest game. 8 to 3. It's still lopsided for Pelicans. They won. Heat versus Grizzlies. In a situation like this, is why it's good to have, besides the notes beyond the live stream, it does look pretty even here, the narrative, but you can tell we have all the stuff for the Heat to win on top, and that was the better narrative, because those are the numbers that hit the hardest, all the ones that are up there. 27 in Miami is just a number you don't doubt. You don't doubt this number, 27 with Miami. You just don't. Look at last night with Miami. Where are they at? See how the Hawks stayed on 27 wins? Remember, Indiana won with 27 points to get to 666 on the season for Kirk Cignetti's 27th win. But you see how the Hawks also got the 16th home loss last night? 27-16. Heat 16, Miami 27. So anyway, that's exactly what we talked about this morning. I said, if there's 27 on the board, like if they weren't playing in Miami, if that game was in Memphis, the 27 wouldn't matter, but it was in Miami. And you got to love that the Heat won by 16 over Tennessee, the 16th state, right? And we talked about that in the stream, that if you're going to take the Grizzlies, you might want to tease them up to plus 16.5 today. That would have worked. Pistons and Bulls. Let's get back to the notes. Because, sometimes you might look at my notes and be like, it almost seems like Zach has more stuff down below. If it's like this, there's a reason I put it on top. And, again, being in the stream, you'd hear exactly what I was saying. 27 in Miami, don't play. All right. But it does play. It's more like, homie, don't play that. Anyway, Pistons and Bulls. It looks like there's plenty on both, but the better narratives were here for the Pistons. Not to mention they were a big favorite, so there's no bragging rights here. Pistons beat the Bulls by 16 today. But yeah, they just had a little bit more than the Bulls. The Bulls had... The stuff the Bulls had wasn't on the surface. You want the stuff to be on the surface, too. The stuff that was in the game, the date, numerology, all that, it looked a lot better for the Pistons on the surface. Date numerology was strong for the Pistons on the surface. Spurs and Kings, another big spread game here. Spurs blew them out. No surprise. Didn't quite cover the 18.5. Knicks, I thought I was going to be wrong about the Knicks and Rockets game, because the Knicks were down big late. They rallied with hardly any time left to win the game. Weren't Rockets up 14 with like 6 minutes left to play? And that's nothing but askers. You can't lose a 14-point fucking lead with 6 minutes left if the shit's real. But I'm glad the Knicks won, because I like the Knicks to win today. They had the better narrative to win. So, and that's the beauty of this knowledge too. For all you guys who are lucky enough to be in the States where you can bet real time, and some of you might not be lucky enough if you got a gambling addiction and you suck at gambling because you're just losing more money than you know what to do with. But if you got this knowledge, what's nice is you're like, damn, Knicks pay 15-1 to come back right now. I already have all this house money today. How about just another 5 on it just in case? Because, oh shit, my 5 is now $75. You know what I mean? Actually, it becomes $80 to get 75 more bucks and you keep your 5. So it was 5 and now it's become 80. That's what we like to do in our community. Not bet the house and lose the house like a jackass, but just pat our pockets and not waste our money on junk food and overpriced coffee. Stay home instead of wasting $15 at Starbucks. Make the coffee at home for pennies on the dollar. You got $15 of house money right there. That, hey, with this knowledge, man, you can turn 15 into a few $100 on a day like today, sweeping the NBA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 on a 6-date numerology on a Saturn's day, not to mention it's the 21st of the month, the 6th triangular number. Now, we weren't perfect in college today, but we did damn good here too. So let's just go through college while we're at it. We did add in a few games that people called in with. My college day, we had UCLA to upset Illinois today. I'll tell you what. You see how Illinois fell to 13-4 today? Big numbers in LA, you guys. I've gone over it 1,000 times over the last 13 years. LA, 13-4. Illinois falls to 13-4 in the Big Ten. We'll get to those notes in a minute. A pattern that did pretty well today, and I suspect it would do well, was 21-6. Again, it's Saturn's day. Saturn equals 21. It's the 6th triangular number. Today had 6-date numerology. It also had a 69 path. So I was really big on the 21-6 stuff today. And hold on here. Where's that Florida game? I mean, they're big favorites. There's no bragging rights. They covered. They beat them by 19 to become 21-6. Thought Creighton had a shot to upset St. John's in a dollar parlay. This is where you take your group of games that you like and you try to turn a dollar into upwards of 50 to $100. If you got 6 right plays that have value and you're right on those and you can hit a big dog, you can turn a dollar into $100+. It didn't work out. St. John's smoked Creighton. They gave him an ass whooping. Creighton was and I told people, I said, it's hard to ask Creighton to upset again because they just had a big upset versus UConn. They gave UConn their 3rd loss on 3-date numerology. But hey, it was a dollar parlay. It wasn't the end of the day. Cincinnati, I said today, in addition to the 21, see, when we were doing the live stream today, and this is the advantage of being on the live stream, this headline broke right here. So this broke as the breaking news story while we were doing our stream this morning. And I said, you know what? Trump's 15% tariffs tell me that 15 could end up being the number of the day. So coming back to that Cincinnati game, the 15 was there for Cincinnati with big value. So I said, put together a round robin ticket with 21-6. And if you did, that was a winning ticket today. It didn't win in this game, but you don't have to win them all in a round robin. But I said Cincinnati was worth a hedge bet with the 15 because they were a big payout. I said you could tease them up to plus 11.5. It could be a safer bet, too, to take them there because Kansas likes 11. That's the thing, you guys. You learn these numbers, you'll realize how often you're like, Kansas won by 11 again. Sometimes Kansas will play one of these schools that, like, everybody out there is a YMCA player, and they'll beat them by 43. You'll just laugh at this stuff. Kansas will beat some scrub school 65-30. Remember when Kansas won their last championship? It was 65 days after the state's birthday. It was in tribute to Danny Manning. I want to say it was 65 days from Danny Manning's birthday. I got to go back and double check. But anyway, it's okay to hedge your bets. You know, my retarded trolls out there, they'll be like, yeah, sometimes Zach picks both sides of the game. Yeah, I do. Sometimes, because I realize there's a strategy to win either way. Like my Super Bowl advice. Money line Patriots, good payout. Seahawks to win by 12+, good payout. You only got to hit one of them. You would have been fucked if the Patriots lost and the Seahawks didn't win by 12+. You would have been up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. But like I said, I was very confident that if Seattle was going to win, they were going to win by 12+ for the 12s with all the 12 on the game. And we knew there was plenty of narrative for the Seahawks. Every fucking loser and their mom, Zach got the Super Bowl wrong again. You guys are just like jizzing all over yourselves because you had to wait, like a decade for me to miss a Super Bowl? And again, when I miss, I don't miss that bad because I still win. Hate all you want.
I'm jealous of Zach because his life's way better than mine because he uses knowledge and works hard and has built something for himself. And now he has all these properties and money, and I'm jealous as hell. So I'm going to sit here like a fucking loser.
We know it's true, trolls. We know it's true. How about just work hard like yours truly and use knowledge and improve your life position like I did?
More moron comments. Zach, if you're doing so well, how come you have to charge for your Patreon?
I didn't know that that was the strategy in life. Is just like, because you're ahead of the game, just stop. What? Do you realize that all of my trolls who say all these things are just like fucking losers with no clue about anything? Why should I not continue to build up a great future for myself? I got plans to fight the cabal. I need resources. Why aren't you guys helping me out? Why the fuck aren't you guys helping me out? You guys should all be here supporting this work every day. Who are all these jackasses watching, like this, what's this Cohen guy who's always in my feed, and all these other fucking loser mouthpieces that are either for the right or the left and just talking nothing but bullshit and bringing no truth? I'm bringing the biggest truth bombs there was every fucking day. Where the fuck are you at? You should be behind me. Said you're some hating loser. Cheering against me? Fuck you, loser. Let me continue on. Did UNC become 21-6 today with the value? Oh, sure they did. They won with 77, did North Carolina. Man, have I ever seen that number with a North Carolina box score before? How about like 5,000 fucking times? North Carolina, 77. Wow, amazing. Amazing. Syracuse stays on 15 wins. We thought 15 was going to be hot. Man, let's continue. Nebraska, Penn State. I mean, this was a no-brainer, but the 15s were going against Penn State. So, yeah, Penn State had two 15s again. But, I mean, just who cares? Nebraska's 18.5-point favorite. We're not hanging our hat on that. Virginia, Miami. Virginia dropped Miami to 21-6 as expected. Game had decent value. Wasn't great. Let's continue. Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Now, here was a game we liked today. Did Vanderbilt fall to 21-6 as the favorite? I saw some loser, this fat loser that looks like Santa Claus talking about me tonight, just emulating what all the trolls tell him. I heard Zach only picks big favorites. Where the fuck did you hear that? My Achilles heel is going after dogs. If I only pick big favorites, when I pick the Seahawks for the Super Bowl just because they were a big fucking favorite? It's crazy how there's just like all these trolls that circulate all this false information about what we do over here. What we do over here is what we call fucking awesome, day in and day out. That's what we do. We win almost every day at Rig Sports. In addition to winning almost every day at Rig Sports, I bring the probably best content to the internet, not in terms of graphics and presentation and dressing nice, because I don't give a shit about any of that. In terms of information that could free the world from the fucking evil cabal that rules over us. That's how. But yeah, that was another winner. And you could see that game was a one-way street. So, I mean, you're looking for two legs to walk, which is our motto, which I borrowed from somebody in my community because I really like it. Just picking the two best legs of the day. Here's a good value game that'll just look like it couldn't miss. Boom. How about the Catholic school getting it done today? Shout out to my community. They called this one in today. I saw the 15s. I said, okay. LaSalle underdog. We got to go to the Division I games here. LaSalle. They put a beating on them as the underdog. Put a beating on them. You guys know Kobe's dad went to LaSalle? Kobe's dad died on the same day as LeBron's dad. Saying he did? Yeah. Nate Thurman, LeBron's father. Nate Thurman, LeBron's father, died the same day that Joe Jellybean Bryant died years later in history. Yeah, LaSalle handled business. I did not get my Kansas State upset at Texas Tech. I mean, they were a 12.5-point underdog. They were another dollar parlay play today. They got their asses handed to them. It was still worth $1. I don't feel bad about it. Arizona and Houston. I'm glad Arizona won this game. I thought if you played this game, you needed to hedge Arizona at plus 6.5. Arizona did win the game. That's who I wanted to see win the game. It did look like the numbers. I'll tell you something. When a team beats tough narratives against them, it's usually a good sign for where they're going in a season. Arizona beat a tough narrative against them today. That's what I wanted to see. And like I said, if you play that game, you got to hedge your bet with Arizona at plus 6.5. So it wasn't all bad. The date numerology definitely was better for Arizona today, so I am happy to see Houston. Or excuse me, I misspoke. The date numerology is better for Houston today. It's better for Houston, but Arizona still won, so I like to see that. Washington, Maryland. Shout out to the man who somebody from my community called this game in, and I agreed. I thought it looked good. But this one didn't work out. This is why I prefer to stay to the ranked games. I do a lot better with the ranked games. We crushed in the ranked games today. Washington did get beat by Maryland. Must have overlooked something. Ah, man. Yeah, that game was. But again, if you're in my community, you know I prefer to stay to ranked games. Missouri did cover versus Arkansas today. Thought they would cover. They had a pretty good narrative to potentially upset. And usually when a team has a good narrative to upset as a heavy dog, they usually at least cover. Or shit, hold on. I take it back. Maybe they, hold on. What's the score? 86-94. Yeah, they lost by 8. They covered. They were a 9.5-point dog. I thought so. Okay. Yeah, they covered. They didn't upset, but they covered. UConn, Villanova. This game had good value. And notice that 21-6 pattern it crushed today. It only missed in one game. Villanova falls to 21-6. Saturn 21, 6th planet, 6th date numerology. How many times I told you guys about Alabama in 13? Remember the other year when the headline was that 13 bomb scares were called into Alabama colleges in one day? It's like, Jesus Christ. How many years have I been teaching about Alabama in 13? That's what I mean about not knowing this knowledge. By people choosing to not know this knowledge, not share this knowledge, not entertain and embrace the knowledge and just see if it's actually true, they just miss out every fucking day. And then they come back with this moronic shit.
Zach, when I was in 5th grade, like I used to always try to spy yellow things. And if I focused on yellow, just everything became yellow.
Shut the fuck up. Watch how 13 wins every fucking time with Alabama almost. And then they got to give you a news story about 13 fucking bomb scares being called into Alabama colleges in one day. LSU picks up their 13th loss versus Alabama. I did think LSU with the points was a decent hedge bet because it was a chance to win 2 times because they were a 7.5-point dog on 6 date numerology. You see that? They covered the spread. They lost by 7. But Alabama, to give them the 13th loss, was definitely the play. And Michigan and Duke, we say, hey, man, there's history. Duke beat Michigan. They're talking about, something like this happened in 92. Duke beat the Fab Five. Today, Duke beats Michigan by 5. and can you guys count how many points are in that score? 68-63. What's that add up to? Yeah, there's a lot more to it. But 68-63, 131 points, 68 teams in the tournament, basketball 68. Okay. If you can't figure it out, you don't belong here. Illinois, UCLA. UCLA, big dog today with a great narrative to win. Stayed on 6 losses in the conference, gave Illinois their 6th loss of the year, and dropped them to 13-4. I heard Zach only takes big favorites. Well, that's what happens when you listen to, and the guy who, you guys, the guy who was putting that kind of information on the internet, which is something he's been doing for 10 years, just saying nothing but falsehoods. He's literally a guy who's dying, who's broke, who can't afford a car, who the other night was crying on his stream in pain because he didn't have any pills left and didn't want to walk miles to where he gets his pills because it was too cold outside. And I was sitting there, I'm watching him because he's talking a lot of shit lately. I have the stream on in the background while I'm doing my thing. And I'm just thinking about how sad it actually is. This guy's such a fucking loser, right? I mean, he's the definition of a fucking loser. He's a fat slob, broke as hell, dying, needs pills, doesn't have a fucking car as a man in the U.S., and just whining to his audience about how much pain he's in. And then talking shit about me. It's like, how about had you embraced what I was doing, maybe you would be in the situation like other people are who've taken themselves from homeless and buying their first property and everything else I went over. Have you guys ever helped a person make $350,000 in a day? Because I have a lot of stories. That's the biggest I know that anyone won off my knowledge in a single day. $350,000, life-changing money. But But I know there's been a lot of people who've won upwards of 100K, 40K, 50K, 10K. Like I said, I remember when I told everybody to bet on LeBron to come back from down 3-1 to win on the King James's birthday, because I told everybody all season he was going to win on King James's birthday. I remember that comment section of just people talking about for the first time in their life, tens of thousands of dollars, blah, 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 blah. It was a lot of people, and it was all free back then. All free. Meanwhile, this guy's been trolling for all that time. So choose what kind of person you guys want to be. You want to be the fucking fat old loser dying in his chair who needs his medication because his body hurts because he doesn't take care of himself, and instead he hates on other men online who are 10 times greater than him? And then what's funny about that guy is he thinks he's talking to God and he's a messenger of God. God didn't tell you to not become a fat fuck and have all this body pain in your early 60s and look like you're 20 years older than you are? Where's your God at? Where's your God at? I get tired of these fucking losers saying, I don't believe in God. You think a guy who didn't have any spiritual prowess would get on here every day and slave away against evil? You got to be blind as fuck. What's with all the cussing tonight, Zach? Because it's the passion of being so mad about educating about all this ritual murder and putting out all this awesome knowledge. And it seems like there's just more fucking haters in the world than ever. What are you guys hating about? Jealous? If you're jealous, you could have done the same thing as me. You know what? In the time I was here, you guys watched me go from living high on the hog to broke as hell because I got my house ripped off and everything stolen overnight. And you never saw me cry that day or ask for anything, but you just watched me recover in no time flat. Do the same thing. Stop being a pussy. Stop being a loser. Stop being an excuse maker. When a car crashed through my house, 2 walls in my house, did I ask anybody for anything? No. But I got trolls online saying that I begged people for money to pay for it. That's bullshit. That never happened. Why is everyone making up all these fake stories? No, I paid for it myself. I had to fight my insurance for 6 months to get them to pay a fraction of it, and then I paid the rest. Never asked anybody for anything. Iowa State, BYU, I think I got on the wrong side of this one. I did. What did I do wrong here? Oh, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised Iowa State didn't get that one done. The 6 seed went down on the 6 Dayton margin. You know, that happens a lot. I should have thought more about that. A lot of times, if your seed matches the date numerology, it's not a good thing for you. I overlooked that one here. Last one of the day. I was in a hurry at the end to start the live stream on time. But anyways, you see, I mean, we crushed college. We hit the vast majority of games. Perfect sweep in the NBA. And all we've done is post winning day since the Super Bowl. So, yeah. Hey, you guys want to see what they did to the actor from you want to see more about what they did to this poor actor here from Grey's Anatomy and Euphoria, and also actually the show about the last ship, which debuted on the anniversary of us bombing Iran, with that being a threat right now as well. But yeah, dead 102 days after his birthday from Lou Gehrig's disease. The new season of Euphoria. If you've never seen Euphoria, he's the horrible, degenerate dad. But yeah, notice Lou Gehrig died in 41. This guy, we'll come to the 41 piece, so don't forget that Lou Gehrig died in 41. Eric Dane. And that's the other thing that's annoying. All these people who I built up have now clicked up, and it's like they all hate on me. And then they all do shitty decodes and make the work look like dog shit. Anytime they have anything intelligent, they copied me, but then the rest of their decodes, just a whole bunch of nonsense. This loser was just in my chat the other day, Cody, watching the stream, and then he goes on and presents this right away as the first fact, and then from there just gives a whole total bullshit decode and shouts out everybody who hadn't decoded the thing, except for the guy he learned from. There's so many people just trying to grift off my work. I'm not the grifter. I'm the original source that a lot of people have made money off of from learning from me and copying me. Anyone who calls me a grifter is a fucking asshole. No, I'm the code breaker who brought you guys the most awesome shit there ever was. That's who I am. But this fucking kid, he goes on there, copies me, and then, shouting out all these shitty ass decoders who make the work look like dog shit. And then he even says in his own stream that he brings up that I missed this. I didn't miss this, you fucking asshole. You were in here copying me. Jesus. These people are scum. Scum. How the hell are you going to say in your stream that I somehow missed this when you got it right from me? And shout out to King Richard TV because he had it decoded the first. King Richard TV is the best decoder in this community outside of yours truly. And a lot of times he finds things that I didn't find. I could argue sometimes he is the best decoder right now. However, he needs to work on his own terminology and stop speaking so much like his teacher. Anyway, come on, man. Dies 20 years to the day of his first appearance in the show, which was right after Super Bowl 40, the first of the Seattle Pope Bowls, when this show's set in Seattle. And again, his character is McSteamy, and he's dead 99 days after the Superior General's birthday. And again, Lou Gehrig died in 41. Notice Eric Dane yesterday. That's the episode he was in for the first time of the show, 20 years to the day of his death. Eric Dane yesterday in Super Bowl are all 41 and 49 as the Seahawks avenged their Super Bowl 49 loss in San Francisco, who they blew out with 41 points. And look at this. The Pope. From the Pope becoming the Pope, the whole Super Bowl was synced with the Pope, to his death is exactly 41 weeks. Things you can't talk about anymore. And by the way, if people don't know my story, part of the reason I started speaking out online in 2013 is because it was shortly after Google deleted all of the content for people questioning pokey-dokes, And were pokey-dokes leading to a lot of disease and illness that we see in society? Because as the pokey-doke schedule's gone up, there's just way more disease and illness, especially in children. I'll tell you what, my daughter doesn't have any pokey-dokes, and she's about the healthiest thing there ever was. Again, 3 children were born on this block within a year of each other. My daughter is the only one who didn't get pokey-doked, and those other children both got COVID last winter. Not my daughter. No pokes. Anyway, and what's sad is one of the children that got pokey-doked, the parents didn't even want it to get pokey-doked, but the doctors just did it without even asking. And they said they were debating on sue. I said, you probably should have sued. You didn't want them, and they did it without permission. Sue, sue, sue. But yeah, look at this, you guys. I mean, you really think this is an accident? That how many times have I talked about the Super Bowl in 41? Just another obvious death ritual. Seattle show. Super Bowl numbers all over it. 41 weeks after the Pope, when the Seahawks' whole Super Bowl run was synced with the Pope. He's dead at 53. That was the other team in this role, Patriots. He's from San Francisco. Seahawks just won in their 50th season. He plays Tom Chandler in The Last Ship. Dead on the 19th. Again, I did a whole stream on this. There's even more to it. Oh, yeah, he plays Cal Jacobs in Euphoria. 60, like Super Bowl 60. Yeah, his full name's 267, like the 267th Pope. And maybe that's what you guys mean by small hats. Maybe you're just talking about the Pope since he wears a small one too. But stop saying that.
That's why they wear the small hat, because the small hats actually control the church.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Yeah. The star of Euphoria, Sydney Sweeney, she's from Washington State too. Remember, she had the Good Genes ad that was all the controversy. She's from Spokane, like Ryan Sandberg. Ryan Sandberg was dead by the numbers at the same time. And Ryan Sandberg was perfectly synced with the Pope. He played for Philadelphia and Chicago, like the Pope's from Chicago and went to school at Villanova in Philadelphia. Ryan Sandberg from Spokane, where Gonzaga is, that other Jesuit university. But yeah, he plays Dr. Mark Sloan, 72, like Jesuit order, born in 72. He's dead the night of the home box office, new hospital show, like Grey's Anatomy is a hospital show. And I was just about that. The Pit, Seattle, the Pittsburgh deaths this week connected to Seattle. Again, he debuted in the show just a few days after Seattle lost to Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl. So think about that. The Seattle hospital show, the Pittsburgh hospital show. And you know how I always teach you guys about 35 Thursday? Look at the gematria of Thursday in the Pit, the name of the new hospital show set in Pittsburgh. It's total propaganda, by the way. The Pit in Thursday. So perfect, right? And HBO's Jesuit run. Eric Dane, dead 45 weeks after announcing his ALS thing. Big Major League Baseball number. Baseball's kicking off. He's dead right before spring training starts. Just like how this Pittsburgh Pirate who hit the walk-off home run in 1960, who coached Seattle, he died the day of spring training. First day of spring training. All right. So anyway, late stream. Shout out to Sammy Telesco. You're welcome. Thank you, Lil Cam51. Appreciate it. And yeah, we'll leave it there for now. Again, you want to join the community? Join us on the Patreon. We go over the sports 24/7, 365. If you want the full totality of live streams, you got to be on the $20 tier. $11 tier gets you live streams Monday through Friday. $20 tier gets you the weekend streams too. But if you're on the $11 tier, you get the notes for the weekend. So yeah. Anyway, congrats to the winners. We torched the world of sports again today. And look at all the awesome content I brought too. They got super underappreciated. So, again, if you're not on the news channel, you should be. Just type in Zachary K. Hubbard. If you're watching on Gematria Effect Sports, which hardly any of you are because that channel's dead. But this is the main channel. Number Games with Zachary K. Hubbard. A lot of you still don't know how to use YouTube. Videos are where videos get uploaded. Lives are where lives get uploaded. Shorts are where shorts get uploaded. I might start messing around with shorts more, but again, my channel is so shadow banned, nothing gets views. Look how shitty all these views are, you guys. My channel is now a 1K view channel, which is fucking pathetic. I got better views 1 week into making YouTube videos when I first started. I now have worse viewership than ever. So, yeah, all new content today. Look out for you guys about to get bombed on by the nor'easter. You guys saw that was the headline all day today, right? On the 52nd day of the year, the weather warfare. The nor'easter is about to take out the northeast. I mean, how many times can I educate about the same shit over and over? You're just looking for these patterns. Fuck you, moron. Yeah. Puppet Trump by the numbers all day, every day. I mean, today's got 15-date numerology. I've been exposing Puppet Trump every day since he announced he was running for office in 2015. You mean to tell me every fucking day was a coincidence? You got to be fucking dumb. Dumber than a box of rocks. So, yeah, exactly. That's what they've done to this channel, man. I have your notifications on. I still don't. Exactly. You guys, I can't tell you how often I post a video, and on this wall of my own channel, I can't even see my own video there. It'll show up like after an hour. It's like, look at this shit. I can't even see my own video that I just posted. So anyway. Yeah. If you want to join us, link for the Patreon's in the description. And actually, hold on. I'm going to drop the link real quick for anybody who wants to contribute anything or come on here and debate anything. The link is dropped. Come talk to me. Yeah, and if you're not subscribed here, this is the channel. If you're on the sports channel, this is the channel you should be subscribed on. I cover everything on here. Like I said, the sports channel just feels like a waste of time. It has been destroyed 2 March Madnesses ago by YouTube. And the reason they did it is because they didn't want to, if you hit 100K subs, they got to send you a plaque. You guys know how many times they delete my news channel when it was right almost to 100K. I've been almost to 100K on so many channels and deleted. And then this channel, they don't even allow the fucking thing to grow. It's the slowest growing channel of all time. But, yeah, I was at 95K subs March Madness 2 years ago and just dropped 6,000 overnight. And I've stayed at 89,000 subs for 2 years. Have you ever heard of such a thing for somebody to stay at the same sub level for 2 years? Never heard of it. And I think I know why they did 89K. You guys know my story well enough. You probably know why they dropped it to 89K and have kept it there for 2 years too. So. All right, I'm going to give it a minute for anybody to come in here. If not, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm just doing something in the background that I got to get ready for tomorrow. If you want to come on and share something, you better do it now or forever hold your peace. Because this stream is going to be over. By the way, did you guys see that they killed that Godfather voice actor on the same day they killed Robert Duvall? You guys catch that one? I saw that. Look, this video didn't even make it to 1,000 views. Pino Calisi. His name Gematria is exactly how many days he died from the Pope's birthday, and he died in Rome. So that was an easy one. Pope probably sniped him from his rooftop. Poor Pino. He was the voice actor in Italy. You know how they got to dub the films because they speak Italian over there? So they had Pino dubbing the voices for The Godfather. Just happens to die the same day as Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall dead at 95 days after the Superior General's birthday. Go figure.
What do you mean, man? They were 95 and 88.
Yeah, they were old. Doesn't mean they had to die that day. Another part of me, though, if you guys remember what happened with Ryan Sandberg's death, shout out to Eric, who's from the Chicago area. He called me the Monday before they announced Ryan Sandberg's death, and Eric has some connections in the world of sports, and especially in Chicago, where he's from. And he told me I remember what day they announced Ryan Sandberg's death. They announced it on my birthday, but Eric called me the week before, and we talked about it on Patreon in our live. If you were back, he called into the Patreon before Ryan Sandberg was announced dead, and he said, Ryan Sandberg is dead, Zach. They just haven't announced it yet. And then sure enough, they announced it exactly 1 week after he told us. And the day that, here, I'll show you. So this could be why this stuff's so perfect too. A lot of these people might not die the day they say they do. They might just save the news to make the ritual perfect. Look at this. Or excuse me, I take it back. Eric called me on my birthday. That's what it was. Eric called me on my birthday, which was July 21st, and said he was dead. And then it was the next Monday, July 28th. That's how it was. So he died on 44 date numerology from cancer. Cancer, chemo, kill, all 44. Dion was in the news for beating his cancer battle that day. From his from the start of the MLB season to his death, Ryan Sandberg's a baseball star. 132 days. Ryan Sandberg, 132, Catholic Church, Roman Catholic. Ryan Sandberg, also 60, like Roman Catholic. And from his birthday to his death was 313 days, the 65th prime. He started out in Philly. He made his name with the Cubs. Again, this was shortly after we got the Pope, who's from Chicago. Like Ryan Sandberg made his name with the Cubs, but the Pope also went to school in Philly. The White Sox, the other Chicago team that day, won 6-2. Ryan 62 and 26, like ball game, and cancer. And from the Pope becoming the Pope to the death, 82 days. Chicago, Illinois, 82. Cubs got beat down by the Brewers that day, his team, 8-4. The Cubs became 79. Oh, hold on. No, at the time of his death, the Cubs and the White Sox were tied at 79 all. The series between the Chicago teams ended the day before his death was announced, and they became tied 79 all. And Ryan D. Sandberg, his full name, 79, as is Society of Jesus, as is Chicago White Sox, as is murder. And he died exactly 79 weeks after announcing his cancer battle. However, did he really? Because, again, we had Eric in the Chicago area who called us and told us July 21st, my birthday, that Ryan Sandberg was dead. He had it on an inside source from somebody that works with the team. So, again, I know that's all true. I guess if you're somebody out there listening, you'd be like, I don't know, how do I know that's true? Yeah, I get it. How do you know it's true? But I know that that's exactly what happened. People in our community know that's exactly what happened. And to me, it all checked out because it was exactly 1 week later that they announced his death. So, and look how perfect it is. I mean, it's too perfect. You're just looking for these patterns. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I made the Cubs and White Sox tied at 79 all the day before he dies when his name equals 79. And please stop with the stupid. Stop with the stupid, man. I haven't heard a legit criticism about this work. in the 13 years I've been doing it. I really haven't. I haven't heard a legit criticism. I've heard a lot of stupid shit. I haven't heard one legit criticism. I haven't seen one intelligent debate against yours truly. And I've always welcomed the debate too. I've always said, why aren't you guys out here debating? Why aren't you out here, all these haters out here? Why don't you come on here and bring the debate about what's so wrong about this work? Showing this ritual murder of young and old day after day. Again, the entertainment world making songs about killing by this code of ABC 123. Over the course of decades, songs made about it, shows made about it, movies made about it. And then you just look, oh, let me see. Maybe killing is as simple as ABC is 123. Okay. This kid's dead in Indiana on the 52nd day of the year, sync with the Pope for his 52-week calendar. After the Hoosiers win the championship in Floyd County, while his coach Jeff Brom talks about it. I mean, please. So, what was the hold on? Did Purdue basketball box score? What do they do? Look at that too, because Purdue's last basketball game was against Indiana the night prior. He went to Purdue, dead in Indiana. I gotta think about that more. I think there's something up with that. All right. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now. It's late. For everyone on the Patreon, we'll be back in the morning. Let me see. How many games in the NBA are there tomorrow? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ooh, 11. What's the slate look like for college basketball tomorrow? You got 2 ranked games that are both pretty interesting. Sunday, Catholic Day. The Vatican just turned 97. I see something interesting. All right. All right. We'll leave it there for now. Again, thanks to everyone who hits the like and the share. And if you guys can really make a point to hit the like, I'd appreciate it, because there's a pack of trolls that are working and just using a whole bunch of alt accounts to downvote every video right now. It's super annoying, because that's part of why the views are extra shitty this past week, because they're downvoting the hell out of every video as soon as I post it. And again, if you guys don't know how analytics work for YouTube, if people click off your video quickly, it's a downvote without even hitting the downvote. Like, it didn't have any retention. So YouTube's like, oh, the video must suck. So imagine a pack of trolls coming in with 80 to 100 alt accounts, spending 1 second on the video to hit the down thumbs button, and then onto the next alt account, thumbs down. So that's the way the video is registering at the beginning. Oh, it held the viewer for 2 seconds and got a downvote. And for all you guys out there doing it, you guys are fucking pieces of shit. I know you're being paid to do it, but fuck you. Don't you realize, you fucking morons, that fighting against me is really fighting against yourself? There's not many people out here who've been dropping truth bombs every day for 13 years straight and actually been on target with their message. There have been people who've been on here for a long time, and they're off point. They still think small hats run the world. They think everything's small hats. They never even heard of the Jesuits. They think Gematria is bullshit. They think Donald Trump's the savior. These people are fucking morons. They're the ones you should be downvoting. You should be getting on your alt account to hit the 100 likes on the video. You should have all 100 accounts watching the video the whole way through, and then get 100 likes too. That's what you should be doing. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now. True Seeker. Again, for you guys on the new sports channel, I don't post much over there, so you better, if you want more content, you better be on the Number Games with Zachary K. Hubbard channel. Till next time.